Hello everyone, so today I'll be talking about Big Four recruiting, and currently this is the fall semester of my junior year, so recruiting season just passed and I would just like to show you some hot and fresh tips on how I prepared for recruiting. So the recruiting process is slightly different depending on your class setting, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. But overall, it is pretty similar in terms of the interview process and the applications that you have to write. So first, even if the application has not opened up on your school portal, you can still work on your resume and cover letter. This is one mistake that I made because I did not prepare ahead of time, or not as much as I should. So that's why I spent a lot of time just writing my cover letter and resume. This has caused me to submit my cover letter and resume in a time crunch. It's always not good to rush through your resume and cover letter because that way you can't make sure that it is a good representation of who you are and what you can provide. And second of all, when the application process starts, it is when the school portal opens up so that you can submit your resume and cover letter. It is also the time when you can submit material to the company website or the firm website. Usually you have to write an application about personal details such as your name, your grades, GPA, and your family situation and just all that personal stuff. It is not complicated material, but you have to spend some time on it because it is a pretty long and detailed application, and you have to pretty much list all your previous jobs and just a lot of personal detail about yourself. And after that, you'll be notified for the first round interview, which is usually done on campus. So this is very good because it is very convenient and you don't have to spend a lot of time commuting. This is, I would say, the more rigorous part of the application process because this is the time when they have to ask you a set number of behavioral or situational questions, and you'll have to answer them with the STARS method, which is situation, task, action, and result. Make sure you address all four parts to any question you ask. For example, if they ask you, tell me about one situation in which you had a difficult teammate and what was the result of the situation, make sure you address all four parts of situation, task, action, and result. Situation is the background of the situation you're in. Task is what you have to do to solve the problem or approach the situation. Action is what you have done to approach the situation or the problem. And result is what happened afterwards. What was the outcome of your actions? So make sure to address all four parts, and also when you answer two-part questions, make sure you answer both parts. For example, if they ask you what is your greatest setback and how do you feel about it right now, and that is a two-part question, don't just talk about your greatest setback and provide a lot of detail on that part and not talk about the second part of the question. And after the first round interview, you may or may not be invited to the second round interview, and which is also the in-house interview. And the notification usually comes within a week or two. So if you don't get a notification within 2 weeks, that probably means that you did not pass the first round interview, and that usually means it's bad news. And not every firm will tell you if you do not get selected. So if you don't hear back from a firm, just assume that you did not get accepted. And if you have any doubt, don't hesitate to email the recruiter. But try to avoid emailing the interviewer directly because usually they are very busy with their own position, because usually the interviewer is a senior manager or a partner, so that means they have a lot of business work to do on their own. And after you receive the result of the first round interview, for the in-house interview, the things that you have to prepare includes the following. Well, these are things that you should probably start preparing way ahead of time, but you really have to focus on doing company research. You really have to know about the firm, its clients, and also the company culture, the firm culture. And you can do this by just going on the website, reading all the articles that the firm website has. And you can also ask professionals out to coffee chats and ask them in depth about the company culture, their atmosphere, the office atmosphere, the team atmosphere, the clients that they work on, what they enjoy about their work, what they do not enjoy about their work. And usually if the professional says yes to your invitation for a coffee chat, that means they like you enough to get to know you better and also provide some of their tips and advice. And in terms of meet the firms, one thing that can set you apart from all the other people is that you can always talk about more personal things, and I'm not talking about family or religion or politics. These are pretty touchy subjects, so please avoid from those, but you can always talk about what they like to do on weekends, what they enjoy about their life in general. Just ask about more personal questions, and that makes them remember you more. So back to the topic of the application process. Before the in-house interview, you may be assigned to an interview buddy or a firm buddy who will provide you with more tips on how to approach the interview, and who will also provide you more insight to what the culture is. And this is very, very important to know the culture, the firm culture, because you will be at work for 8 hours or more every single day, so you don't want to work in an environment full of people that you do not like. And this is the number one reason of why people quit their jobs. It is because they don't enjoy the working environment. Because honestly, Big Four firms, they all do very, very similar things, but what makes each firm different is the firm culture, and you will notice the difference if you really take time to talk to professionals, know about their background, know about the culture, know about the atmosphere of the office, and even go on office tours. You will know much more about the firm than from just looking at the firm's website. And of course, everything they put on the firm's website are pretty much positive, because no one will talk about the negatives on their official website. So that's why it is very important to go on other websites, which I will list in the info box, that will give you some more perspective on what the firm is really about and what is the culture really like. So after the in-house interview, you'll usually hear back from them within 2 weeks, and actually usually a week, because that was with my situation. Within a week I knew about the result, but the waiting time felt so long. So just make sure you keep yourself occupied, focus on school during that waiting period. Don't disturb the people who make the result. You can send thank you emails, but just don't further question them, because they already have a lot of things to work on, and usually the decision will be made the day of. After you exit the interview room, the partners or senior managers will all gather up in a room to discuss the result of your interview. So usually the decision is made before you go back to campus, which is a pretty scary thought, but at the same time, just know that your fate has already been decided. So even if you forget to do something, let's say you forget to send out that thank you email within 24 hours, it probably will not affect the result, because the result has been made the day of. And for preparing for interviews, you always have to know yourself very well, and you always have to know all your clubs and organizations and every detail you put on your resume, because some interviewers will actually go through your resume and go through every single bullet point that you put in there. So make sure, don't make up stories, don't tell lies, and just be comfortable with talking about every single bullet point you make on your resume. And as I've mentioned before, use the STARS method every time you tell someone a story, because stories without a result or stories without a task is just not effective and does not reflect your qualifications and your contribution to a specific situation. And one important thing that helped me out is going on coffee chats with professionals, and this way you can get to know about the firm better, get to know about the people you may be working with later, and it is also a very good way to set you apart from other candidates, because chances are the professional will notify the recruiter about the fact that they went on a coffee chat with you, and the recruiter will take note of that, and you will also have a higher chance of getting hired. So these are all my tips about the general recruiting process. It can be stressful. Think of it as almost a part-time or full-time job. The most time-consuming part is not writing the application itself. That is just the start. So even after you finish with the resume and cover letter writing and the application, you still have to spend a lot of time going to social events, interacting with professionals, taking time out of your weekend and also taking their time out of their weekends to interact with them, ask them questions, and get a better idea of what the firm is really about. So good luck to you all who will be applying to Big Four firms, to their internships or SLPs or freshman programs or full-time jobs. I wish you the best of luck, and please let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and leave any questions in the comment section, and I will respond to them and provide my perspective of what I think about your situation. And please let me know if you have any more advice that you would like to give and let the YouTube community benefit from this. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so. See you guys next time. Bye!